Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Madeline and my channel is all about giving you ways to raise your vibration because everything is energy. And that's actually what I want to be talking about today because I know that phrase has been thrown around a lot and maybe some of you out there are thinking, what the fuck does that even mean? So today we're going to talk about some of the science and how it's changed my life personally. All right, I've got my notes right here, so you may see me referencing them. It's just because I want to stay on focus, on topic and focus for you guys. Make sure I say everything I have to say. So let's get into it. We are going to start with the most basic of all building blocks, the atom. You might remember from high school science that atoms make up everything that we perceive in our reality, right? They have a nucleus, they have little electrons floating around their little electron field. So why I'm talking about this today is because atoms are mostly empty space. In fact, if you enlarge the size of the nucleus of the atom to the size of a peanut, the electron field that goes with that atom would be the size of a baseball stadium, right? Like, that's mind-blowing to think about a peanut in a baseball stadium, and that's the ratio of physical mass to the nothingness that makes up every atom, and atoms make up everything in our reality. So that's going to the conclusion of saying most of our physical reality is actually just empty space, which is crazy to think about, but that's where energy comes in. Something like 99.99996% of an atom is space. That is basically saying 99.99999 is energy. Everything, or almost everything in our reality is energy. So we're gonna do a visual demonstration here with one of my favorite toys, the fidget spinner. Okay, I know they're not really cool anymore, but still kind of fascinating, right? So if you imagine that the center is the nucleus of the atom, the round points, right, are going to be electrons, and their electrons are always moving, right? And in a certain way, it almost kind of looks like, you know, when it's spinning fast enough, it looks like it's a full circle. It looks like it's just a disc, but of course it's not. Has 3 prongs that are just moving really fast. So fast the camera is like, what are you showing me right now? Right. Even though there is, you know, like empty space, the atoms are moving around so fast that I can't actually, you know, like put my finger through it without actually stopping it. And that's why, you know, we experience physical matter as things we can actually touch, interact with, right? So if we take this a step further, something is moving, there's a rate at which it is moving, right? It could be slow or fast, but it's a measurable speed, miles per hour, centimeters per second, whatever you like to use. And especially when it comes to electrons, you know, they're orbiting the nucleus. So there's a frequency at which they're moving around. It takes them, you know, a certain amount of time to make a certain amount of orbits. Frequency is how we measure something's energetic signature, right? You could say like a C note has the frequency of a C note versus a D note, E, F, G. They all have different vibrations, right? That's how music is made. Everything in our universe has its own frequency, whether we can hear it or not. You know, we've already established human senses are actually kind of limited in what we can perceive, but that's a topic for a different video. So to make this more tangible, if I were to say, think of something sad, you can bring up a tragic memory and you can literally feel your mood go down. If I were to say something like, what are you grateful for? You might be like, wow, I'm really grateful for fidget spinners. I'm really grateful for water, my computer, my cell phone. You know, like you can go on a whole rampage and you can feel your mood lifting, right? And especially when you go from sad to grateful, you can feel that different energetic shift. Well, A study by Dr. David R. Hawkins and the Institute of Noetic Sciences actually demonstrated the existence of energy field that is generated by different emotions. This study created a scale that shows how different emotions really do have their own unique vibrations. Like negative feelings such as shame or fear have low vibrations, and the positive, emotions like joy, gratitude, bliss, all of these things are higher. So you have like a whole scale of emotion from low vibe emotions to high vibe emotions. Which, when you think about it, is kind of obvious, right? Like when you're really happy, you might say, I'm high on life. You're high vibrating. Or when you're down, you literally feel like, oh, I'm down in the dumps, right? We literally use that language. But it's really cool that science is actually quantifying and being able to measure these different vibrations, and we can put them on a scale. Another really cool thing to think about is that our hearts all have electromagnetic frequencies. That's why, to restart a heart that's been stopped, they can use an EKG to restart that electromagnetic field. Our hearts really do have different frequencies, right? And researchers at the HeartMath Institute actually found that feelings such as love and compassion can synchronize the frequency of our brains to the frequency of our hearts. And whenever there's that cohesion, it allows for natural healing, which makes sense, right? When you're in a state of stress, your body is so tense you can't heal. But when you bring in that compassion, you bring in that love, your body will naturally start to heal itself. And that's what we're talking about when we say being high vibe, right? My next point is also about how, if you haven't watched it yet, I have a video on the emotional freedom technique, EFT tapping, and that's similar to the reason why that works so well is because when you regulate your emotions, when you create that brain-heart cohesion, your body will naturally heal itself. Your brain can rewire itself in positive ways. And that's why tapping is such an effective healing modality. And if you haven't watched that video, you definitely should. I'm gonna link it in the description for you. All of these concepts came together to really help me understand the law of attraction. When you feel love in your heart, creates cohesion in your brain, and you're in that lovey-dovey, that cloud nine, everything is amazing state, versus when you're feeling frustrated, your energy is gonna be not as high vibe, and you can literally, anything can happen that would be amazing, and you're just gonna be like, you're in a funk or whatever. Those are two powerful examples of how your personal energy can affect the world around you. And it's because everything is energy, right? Only a small, teeny tiny fraction of our physical world is actually like solid matter. And the rest of it is the energy that we're projecting from ourselves. And we're using that, like rose-tinted glasses to color our perception of reality. And that's how we get the placebo effect. That belief of, oh, I'm taking this pill, it's working. Those beliefs are creating this energy of believing in the healing, and that allows healing to occur regardless of whether or not real medicine was administered. This concept is also present in physics. They call it the observer effect. And it explains that our preconceived notions, the energy which we are approaching any given situation, can influence the outcome of that experiment or situation. Humans we create electromagnetic fields, and we have such powerful emotional energy that we can literally change the matter around us. I mean, sure, most of the matter is empty space, so how hard could it be to change anyway, right? But realizing this was just revolutionary for my own healing journey. So when I use the saying, everything is energy, it's meant to be empowering. It's a reminder that you, yes, you, can change your energetic state at will and therefore affect your surroundings. You are not just a little human being tossed and turned by the waves of the outside world. No, you have a heartbeat that creates its own sovereign electromagnetic frequency, and that fact gives you a certain power over the outside world. Life is more about the frequencies we allow in, the vibes we choose to sustain, rather than what is actually in our reality. Because you always have a choice. You can choose to create your energetic state, and in that way, we are never powerless. We are in control of our reality because we are in control of our frequency. It's just a matter of practice. Don't worry if you don't know how to practice yet. Just make sure you're subscribed to my channel because I'll be creating more content about how to raise your vibration, and I promise it will get easier the more you practice. For now, just focus on noticing when you're in those low vibe states and practice shifting into a higher vibration emotion. And stay there. No matter what's going on around you, you can decide how you feel. Only you can do that. You don't let other people make you feel any kind of way. No, you are the sovereign ruler of your heart. You can determine the electromagnetic frequency that you put out, okay? And I also just want to say, because when you're just learning these things, it's tempting to get down on yourself, but just look at it as, oh, this is my reality for a long time and I'm shifting into this new one. It's just gonna take time and practice. Don't get down on yourself. You're doing amazing. And experiencing a range of emotions is just part of the human experience. But like I said, I will be creating more high vibe content to help you guys. So if you enjoyed this video, if you found this video helpful, feel free to give it a heart and a comment and share it with somebody you think could benefit from this beautiful combination of science and spirituality, because that's what we do here on this channel. I hope to see you in my next video, and until then, stay elevated, and I hope you have a great day.